it just looked smaller. I said,
right. So that was, this is the one you took of the, right. So definitely when you look at it, you can see the prongs, you know, just visually, they're definitely higher.
Okay.
So they did redo prongs. Now, sometimes to redo the prongs, they will take the stone out and do work to it. You know, sometimes you can do with a laser that sometimes they can do prong work without taking a stone out, but if they're using a torch, I'm not a bench thrower, but a lot of times they don't want to risk it, but it definitely looks as though...
Would there be a reason for them to do that? Because like the person in the store inspected it beforehand and said nothing was wrong with that.
No, I mean, looking at the prongs the way they are on yours, they look okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, so basically, when we do repairs, you're going to bring your ring in. You're going to do rhodium plating. We're going to look at it and say, okay, Catherine, you know what? Your prongs are really worn. But you know, if we don't say that, we're not going to just go re-tip prongs,
that's what
because that's, you know, it could be a $150 job to do all that. So it's a lot of work.
Yeah, that would be great.
And then the other thing is, we would never do anything without you knowing about it.
And would it? And if you were to do something like that, would it look the same when you were done?
No, that's the difference there. Because what happens is they might have taken the stone out to reset it. So basically, you take the stone out, you rebuild the prongs, you make the new notches, bring the prongs because it's all pressure, and then they reset the stone. So depending on the setter, sometimes they're crooked, sometimes it's higher than what it was or lower than what it was.
But wouldn't that have been an obvious thing that would have needed to be done before I sent it out? Like,
yeah. I mean, you know, we try to head off 95% of the things at the counter.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get it when we're checking it in or it's at our shop.
Right.
They might say, you know what, these prongs should probably be. Then we call the customer and say, listen, the shop recommends X, Y, or Z. This is what it would cost.
Right.
Make sure you okay it.
And the other thing was, I got 2 identical wedding bands, and one of them had cracked, and that's what I was setting up to be repaired. And when they sent it back, it's like totally different size, and they're telling me that's just what happens when. But I got them because they were thicker bands, so I don't understand why it would come back so thin.
Right. Did you get these at the same time?
All at the same time.
All at the same time. And how long ago did you get these?
4 years.
4 years.
And they're like the same, like identical bands in the same set. And they've always been the same width, and now that one's like super
and it's
thin.
still like cracked. You can see the little crack, a line through there.
My eyes, yeah.
Now, and when did you get married?
In 2013.
Yeah. So, yeah, you wear bands like this. Some people wear harder than others that they wear through rings. 3 years to go through it. It's not going to go from that to that in 3 years. That's definitely a drastic difference. Yeah, because they're the same up here and then they taper down.
Yeah.
So the weird thing is, first off, yeah, what would even be done to get that thin?
Right.
That's 1.8, and that one is 1.27. So that's kind of odd.
Yeah. And then this, could it possibly just be my diamond in this crappy setting now?
It could be that with it just reset that gives you a different look to it. Okay. And that's what I was trying to, yeah, that's okay. Trying to see the height.
Yeah, it definitely is. Like mine, when I was looking at it sideways, I could always see the point at the bottom, and this one I really can't.
Right, so it's probably set down a little bit lower. Which
just makes it look so different, because like when I look at mine from the side, it looked wider, and this looks so much more narrow.
Yes, I mean the prongs are definitely something was done to it. I don't think there's any dispute on that. Now, as far as the diamond, I highly doubt they would switch to diamond, just because it's just not worth it for anybody to do it. And second of all, you know, there's been a couple bad apples over the years in the jewelry industry that has done that. But I don't think the diamond's been switched. If you said a half a carat, it's approximate measurements or bringing it around there.
Okay.
And the one thing what I'll do is I'll show you the imperfections here, so that you can look at it. Because a lot of times I'll tell people, I'll show them something in the stone, or
in my last ring I had like this white dot in it, and so I always knew when I saw it that it was mine.
Right, that was
but
it there,
this one
right.
I never saw anything that I could, you know, mark it as
right,
unique.
exactly. So I'll show you that there. But I think basically what it is a resetting, which the I don't know why they would redo your prongs, but looking at that picture, they definitely look higher.
Like I don't like it, so how would that be remedied, do you think?
Man, it's just really strange.
It just gives it such a different look.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they could definitely be set down a little bit better and then polished over and rounded a little bit because these are going to get caught.
Yeah,
you're
already I had like stuff
Yeah,
on
you're definitely going to, these prongs, and this is gold. It's not the strongest thing in the world, so you get a little pull on that. And when you set princess cuts, there's a point, so you don't want to go too hard because it can chip them.
Yeah.
But, well, it's secure, so that's good. But they could probably be polished down a little bit and remedied. This here, I don't know. You know, not knowing exactly if they were the same and one was thinner, but
No,
they
they
should
were-
not
yeah.
be, that should not be that
You
thin.
couldn't tell them apart except
Right.
for the engraving on the
Okay.
inside before, and now I
So,
could
yeah, I mean,
clearly-
that's a significant difference. Now, when you do size and do things, they do polish.
Yeah.
So unless somebody got the wheel and they were polishing and went really hard,
Yeah,
but
the crack you said is
there's still a line there.
Yeah.
And I can't tell if it's still separated or sometimes you can see where they
Right.
either soldered it or repaired it. But that,
Okay.
in 3 years, no. Not
Yeah.
especially looking at your bands here. It's not like, and it's like tapered all the way up. So I think that was someone that either sized it and did by hand when they polished it
Gotcha.
on there.
Okay.
So hold on to those. Let me
Sure.
grab the, and then I'll be able to give you this, and this will show you a couple things.
Okay.
Let's see. You use a microscope in a long time?
No, I actually work in a lab. So
Oh,
yeah.
do you? Okay. So this is your diamond here, and you can just adjust this a little bit. But if you look directly in the center, you'll see some little black imperfections.
Okay.
And to the right, it almost looks like ice inside there.
Okay.
And that's a white clear imperfection. But there's like 1, 2, like 3 little ones kind of clustered together in the middle of it.
Oh. Yeah.
You see those 3 right there?
Yeah.
So that's
really clear.
Yeah, so that's very identifiable, and with clarity and imperfections, a lot of people look at them as bad things, but a big thing is that they're identifying characteristics.
Okay.
So it's like a snowflake, as they say. You're not going to have 2
Yeah.
diamonds with the exact same imperfections and inclusions like that. So I would think that it's definitely the diamond, you know, going by what you're saying, approximate ½ carat. The dimensions of the millimeters bear that out.
Okay.
But looking at the picture, I think definitely the prongs are higher. So there's 2 things. They either they took it out to rhodium plate it, which you don't really usually
never
need
have
to
done
do.
that, yeah.
And the other thing is, it's either set down lower, the prongs are up, or they build them up, and which
So
for
weird.
but they told you they did the prongs. Yeah.
I just saw it on the receipt. It
Yeah.
said retip, and which
Right.
was surprising because there's nothing wrong with it as far as I knew.
Now the other thing is, now jewelers, you know, there's a lot of different repairs, and sometimes rings are in the cleaner, sometimes they can be, but it's almost like My Cousin Vinny. Did you ever see that movie?
Yes.
When they're like the 2 identical green cars, like
Yeah.
it has. I mean, I've heard it happen. It's just a nature. Sometimes you get people with the same rings,
That's
but
what they're saying is most likely what happened.
Right.
But I almost feel like them doing this work on it for some
Yeah.
reason. Unless, I don't know. 'Cause
yeah,
it
but to
fits
be
me.
the same diamond and everything like that close is a little bit off. Like
Yeah.
to have the exact same diamond millimeters and
Well,
everything.
she was like, it's a stock item, so there's hundreds
Right.
of thousands of people that have this.
Right.
But I
Right.
don't know. And so if they do all their work and they say, okay, it's yours, and it was just, and they can't fix it, is this
Right.
something you could do to make it
Yep.
look like it used to?
Yeah. I mean, basically, what we could do is really, I think it's just bringing those prongs down a little bit. Now, would I take it out and reset it and do that?
Because it used to be up higher,
yeah.
and like I don't like that it's down
Right.
as low as it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something we can do to take a look at and
Okay.
see the best way to do it.
Okay.
Because princess cuts are always tricky, and then you have, all right, now they've done 2 or 3 things to it. Now we're working on it, and then and then that's the part. But we do
Okay.
hundreds of repairs, so we always have diamond rings, and we're going through them and doing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Well,
no
I'll probably
problem.
definitely be in touch after I hear back from them.
Okay.
And if they can't fix it, maybe I could bring
Great.
it here and there's something you can do.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
know it sounds silly, it just doesn't even look the same to me as
Right.
with the way it is.
Right.
Okay.
No, I understand.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. How you doing? This is Greg Lemser, Doylestown Gold Exchange, buyers, sellers, and jewelers with Doylestown Business Insider. I'm here with Catherine, member of the Chalfont Group.
And Doylestown.
And Doylestown Group, and I myself as well am a member of those groups. in the jewelry business here over 20 years, graduate gemologist. And yesterday on the Chalfont page, Catherine posted something in regards to a ring, and just wanted to bring out some information as far as a consumer and as a jeweler, because this is a question I get asked a lot. So I think it's almost the perfect time, and Catherine agreed to talk with us as far as educating and, you know, helping people when they deal with a situation like this. So, so last night we saw a post that, we won't name any names of stores or anything, but you got your ring fixed at a store, came back, and you kind of thought that it was not your diamond.
Right.
Right. So this was an engagement ring she got 3 years ago and was a little nervous. So what was the first thing that you saw with the diamond that kind of made you think this wasn't right?
I noticed the prongs were up really high, and the way the diamond was set, it just looked smaller.
Right, right. And you just wanted to get it rhodium plated, right?
Yes.
Right. So, so rhodium plating is a white finish that goes on white gold, and so they did prong work to it.
It looks that way.
It looks like they did something. And I helped Catherine out measurements, and people were seeing if it was her diamond or not, but we kind of agree. We think the measurements bail out that it was her original diamond, but maybe some work was done to it that wasn't supposed to be done, so now it looks different to you.
Right.
And you wear the ring every day.
Yes.
And so you usually know how it looks and what it does there.
Yeah.
So did you have any concerns ever dropping it off there before or anything like this before?
It was one of my reasons I didn't want to buy my ring from there, because they send the rings away for 2 weeks, and that made me uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable with that, okay. And when you took it there, did they give you a full description of it?
They did not.
They did not give a description of it, okay. So I'm a jeweler, live in Doylestown. We're family owned and operated, and I know a lot of the jewelers in Doylestown. I know a lot of them in Bucks County. A lot of them are family owned. Pretty much I know a lot of them, and you usually do not ever have to worry about dropping off a diamond. They're good, honest people, and a lot of times what they'll do is take measurements, give you details, clarity, color grade. I know they're very important. When you leave that store, you have a receipt, all the details about the ring, so that you know what you're dropping off. And the other thing is for us to say, okay, this is what you left us. Just like everything, there's a few bad apples out there. So I know over the years there's been stories, but for a jeweler like us, and I know Doylestown, the other businesses, the worst thing in the world would be is a reputation that we didn't give them back what they left us. So, you know, we do some of our repairs here. A lot of jewelers do send them out. It's not uncommon because repair bench guys are hard to come by, so there's not like, kids aren't growing up today to be bench jewelers. So some stores do it on site, but we don't do all of ours here, but we do complete, everything's insured, hand delivered, not mailed. We double check it, and we give very detailed descriptions to make sure that you know what you have. And we just looked under the microscope.
Yes.
So what did I show you that helped you now next time you leave it somewhere?
You showed me some imperfections in the diamond that were unique to my diamond.
Exactly. So the millimeter, and Catherine and I showed her some imperfections there, and it's kind of like a snowflake. There's no two alike. So that's something now that she drops off either here or any other jeweler. She can see it, and when it comes back, you can confirm on that. But you know, it's an interesting thing. If you have any questions, you can always call me here at 215-345-6630, DoylestownGoldExchange.com. Come in. We do it here, or any other jeweler that you trust and know. But if you go in to get work done on a ring, I think reputation, someone that's been around, recommendations from friends and family, and also, you know, as I said, I'm a graduate gemologist. A lot of the stores locally do have graduate gemologists, which is good. So you can always call them out to, you know, go over things with you to make you feel more comfortable. I'm a jeweler. This industry, sometimes it's tough. People are hesitant, but I think speaking as a Doylestown resident for my whole life, most of the guys in this Bucks County, Doylestown area are very good and trustworthy. Main thing is that you're comfortable, and I appreciate you coming in and working with us, and yeah, and hopefully it'll help you out there. Thanks, and we'll see you next time. This I don't know.
Do you have an idea what you're hoping to get for it?
No, it's my mother's.
Oh, okay.
And I've never had
And she's
anything
moving and she's
done
getting
to
rid
the
of all her
same
stuff, so
size
the
one.
Right.
sisters and I are.
And they were the same
Alright, what are
size
we gonna
after
do?
that.
Yeah, and usually they polish them. It's a light polish, but it doesn't like, I mean, it's taken off like almost a half a millimeter, which is a
Very
lot.
noticeable.
Yeah.
$10 less.
Now the only thing really you can do is put a half shank, which is where you cut it, and you put a new piece on there to match the other side. Now this should be fine. I don't think it'll break on you.
I just don't like I wanted to, I got it because it was thicker.
Right.
And,
Depending on how
now it's not.
Yeah.
do it, whether you want it knotted in between or.
Because I had one that was thin before and it bent a lot, and I don't know. And I want them to match.
Right. Right.
Beautiful.
And yeah, whatever they decide to do, you know, we can always take a look at it.
Yeah.
And
I just really hope it can get it reset.
it can definitely be reset and done the way you want it. Yeah, because basically the prongs usually come up and then they bend them over the stone. These are like straight up.
They're straight up.
They're
yeah,
straight
the
up.
other ones, like I said, you couldn't even feel them when you were.
Yeah, and you can see that in the picture.
Yeah.
So.
Just having them one night, there was fuzz caught on them
Yeah,
already.
yeah, and the other part, do you have them insured?
I don't.
Okay.
I need to. It's one of those things I've been meaning to do for years, and.
Yeah, because right now if that goes out, your homeowners might cover like $1,200.
Well, I have the warranty through them, which as long as I bring it in for inspections every 6 months, they
Right.
cover that.
Okay.
But I would like to still have a policy.
Well, find out what they do, and then if you want, what we can do is I'll do an appraisal for you at no charge, but then we would have to find out what to do here. We might be able to just polish these down a little bit,
But is
or
there
if
a
you
way
want it
that-
higher,
I do,
we'd
yeah.
have to take them out, reset it higher, and since
it
the
was
notches are
higher.
down lower, we might have to.
Do you think that
Redo
those
the
are
prong.
whole new prongs they put on there? Like they're not even, they don't look anything like the other ones.
Man,
because
it-
the notch was up higher on the
Yeah,
other ones.
I mean, it looks like they're new,
Yeah.
just the way there's marks on them.
And what would be the reason that they would have done that?
That's, I mean,
That's the $1,000,000 question.
that's, yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Because honestly, I don't do any extra work I don't need to, especially with a princess cut.
Yeah.
Because there's always the risk of the points on them. But the points look, I mean, it's hard to see exactly, but they look like they're okay. And then the other thing is, I just find it hard to believe that, you know, most guys, if they're doing rings, they put one in the cleaner, they do that job, and then they you know, they're pretty,
Right.
especially wherever they send them to.
Yeah.
I'm sure but I just don't, I mean, I just find it hard to believe that the exact same ring, all that
Same
same
size.
stuff, same size, like, and it doesn't even look like it was rhodiumed.
I know. Normally they come back looking really
Yeah,
nice,
like-
like brand new.
Yeah. I mean, that's not
doesn't.
even, it doesn't even look like it was rhodiumed.
No.
They didn't charge anything, did they?
No, it's
Okay.
all covered under that original
Right.
warranty I purchased, but
Yep. My diamond partner worked at Littman's for a long time he was their wholesale diamond buyer. So, you know, we know a lot with the different warranties and the way they do it, but I don't even know if that was,
it doesn't look it.
it's not even white. Yeah.
And all of them were supposed to be done.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, that should be like popping white.
Yeah.
Especially if you, and when you just picked them up the other day, right?
Yes, last night.
I mean, these look like they need to be rhodium now.
Yes.
I mean, you can see the little yellowish tint. I don't even know if that was done.
Yeah.
And they had all three of them.
All three at the same time.
Yeah, so that's the other thing. Like, if they had them all together in a job,
Yeah.
then that means there's another 2 bands, all that came in at the same time. So,
Okay.
yeah. So I think it's probably a diamond. I don't know why they did that, and I don't think they rhodiumed as well.
I agree. It doesn't
Yeah.
look it.
Yeah, you can either Facebook me or call me with
Thank
any
you, I
questions. And, you know, if you get to that point, either A, if they're going to take care of it and do everything for you, I would maybe have them do it at no charge, make sure they do it, and get that shank done too.
I want to. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not happy with that.
And I would raise a stink because it's not, I mean, I'm not 100%, I don't know, but from what you're telling me and what looks like wasn't done,
yeah.
something's off.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
And they said they did the prongs, which,
Which I didn't even know why they would do them.
yeah. And most jewelers are pretty, that's the main thing. They don't do anything without telling people. We have lists of phone calls and records and track
Right.
it all because, you know, it's a diamond and it's a lot of money.
Right.
And it's very sentimental and personal, so.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome,
I
thanks.
feel a little bit better knowing that it's most likely my diamond, but just the way it was set now doesn't look like it's my diamond.
Right, no, exactly. And I've dealt with people where we've done things and you get it cleaned and you're like, oh, it looks different because it's brand new white, but
Right.
but that's something on there.
Okay.
And well, good. Well, thanks for doing that. I think that'll be a good little service message.
Yeah.
But it's just things to look out for like that, identifying and
Definitely.
measurements. And
Well, when I had my first ring from Littman's, it was, they gave me a picture. They showed me in it everything. My husband got this from Kay's. It was just,
right,
I mean, I didn't know he was doing that, but I
Right.
probably would recommend he didn't.
Right.
And at least at Littman, they have the jeweler comes there once a week, and you can wait.
right.
So
Yeah. Yeah, and then, you know, and we do it, we drive, our shop's within 10 minutes from here. It's another family business that's been in business 60 years. And, You know, we do some things on. We thought about it, but they're very good at it. But then there's other people I know that I could recommend if you don't want to leave it or let it leave a store that are good for doing that as well. So, but any other questions, let me know. And if they do the work and you want me to double check what they did,
and if they can't, then see what you can do.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. No problem. Thanks for coming in. How you doing? This is Greg, Doylestown Gold Exchange, and Catherine. I want to say thank you for coming into the store. It was great talking to you, and I think a good point is brought up that I hear every day, and I know most jewelers in the Bucks County area here. So, for anybody else that's going to get repairs, some of the things I talked to Catherine about. First of all, somebody that's reputable in the community, maybe referrals from other friends or family that have had experiences at that jeweler is always a good way to start. Graduate gemologist is also important because we went to school for grading gemstones and also with grading diamonds. So if there's a gemologist at the store, they can come and go through everything, look at your diamond, explain things to you that also might make you feel more comfortable if you have to leave your ring there. Identification marks. Your diamond usually does have some imperfections. So if you have certification, previous appraisals, anything like that, or when you're at the store, maybe they can point out something in your stone that you can look at when you pick up the ring, and again, to make sure that it is your ring. Another important thing on our side as the jeweler, we do take the time to look over the ring. We also try to catch anything right there with you in case, but sometimes we're not the bench repairman at the counter. So sometimes once it gets to the jeweler, they may notice something that needs to be done or they recommend. So at that point, a call should be made to the customer to say this is what we recommend or should do to get that ring secure. And as Catherine said, they had prong work done on her diamond that she did not ask for and didn't seem to be needed. But again, those are steps as jewelers that we want to be in constant communication with you. And so those are some things that are some good tips if you're going. And as I said, a few bad apples can mess up the apple cart in the jewelry business with diamonds. I hear it every day when people leave repairs. I know other jewelers in the community do as well. But being around here, I can honestly say that I think most jewelers are very good. But again, follow some of those steps and also your gut. If you feel comfortable or not, those are all things that can help you. But if you ever have any questions, we do this kind of consultation with repairs, engagement rings, and almost any type of thing. DoylestownGoldExchange.com, 215-345-6630. Again, with the Doylestown Business Insider here. And if you have anything other locally, other businesses that want to share some important tips for their customers or about your business, that could be helpful to put on these pages because everybody's looking to find quality people to get good work done. So again, thanks, and appreciate Catherine, the Chalfont page, Doylestown page, for supporting our business, trusting us, and we'll follow up with Catherine, and hopefully she gets everything resolved and everything is happy for her. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.
At Doylestown Gold Exchange and Jewelers, we buy gold, silver, diamonds, and coins. With a graduate gemologist on staff, we also sell diamond engagement rings and fine jewelry at prices that are right for you. Learn more at DoylestownGoldExchange.com.